Hey guys, it's Dinohunter here, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing one of, if not the most asked reptile question of all time, which is what is the difference between crocodiles versus alligators? And there's a little bit of advanced information in the end, but I hope you still are able to enjoy it and learn something. So let's get into it. First, the differences. So the mouth of a crocodile has a more sharp V shape, while the alligator has a more curved U shape. This is one of the more easier differences to spot in the wild. Crocodiles' false tooth is visible without them opening their mouth. Their skull curves around it that point to allow this. So at the bottom here you can see two pictures, and if you look at the crocodile skull, that arrow points to where this skull curves around the tooth. Next, crocodiles' teeth are sharp and pointed, designed for shredding fish, while alligators' teeth are cone-shaped and more designed for crushing. The crocodile's bite is also stronger than the alligators, but alligators tend to be much less aggressive than crocodiles. There are also many more species of crocodiles than there are of alligator, and we'll see that again later. Before we get into the two species that we're talking about, we're going to talk first thing about caiman, which are more closely related to alligators than crocodiles. However, they aren't actually alligators. Caiman are generally smaller than alligators, but some, like the black caiman, are larger than alligators. There are 6 species of caiman, which are usually found in South America. And the smallest of the caiman is the Cuvier's dwarf caiman, and it's actually the smallest crocodilian in general. Next are gharials, and gharials are crocodiles. They are fish-eating crocodilians with huge snouts designed to catch fish. They have some of the longest lifespans of any crocodilian, with a lifespan of 40 to 50 years. But then we also have false gharials, and usually when we say false, it refers to an animal that looks like or is similar to another animal without actually being that animal. An example is the Cuban false chameleon, which you can see in the bottom right, which is similar to a chameleon, but is not actually a chameleon. However, false gharials actually are gharials. Okay, we've now gone through those two creatures, so now we're going to move on to alligators. There are 2 species of alligators, the American and the Chinese. This one is the American, and it's the larger of the two, growing from 3.4 to 4.6 meters, 11.2 to 15.1 feet, and it's found in the southeast of the United States. Alligators can lower their heart rate to 2 or 3 beats a minute. Now that is ridiculously low. The second one of the two is the Chinese alligator, and these alligators grow to 1.5 to 2.1 meters, 5 to 7 feet, which is significantly smaller. These alligators brumate in burrows. Brumation is basically hibernation for reptiles. These alligators are found mainly in China, but their range has decreased significantly due to habitat loss, and unfortunately this has led to the Chinese alligator being critically endangered. We've looked at the 2 species of alligators, now let's look at some crocodiles. First of which is the saltwater crocodile, which is the largest species of reptile on Earth. Sometimes they grow past 6 meters, or 20 feet in length, and they are a ridiculous 1,000 to 1,500 kilograms, or that's 2,200 to 3,300 pounds. Their bite is the strongest of any animal, with a bite force of 3,700 psi. That's just absolutely ridiculous. These crocodiles are found from parts of Southeast Asia to Oceania and more. The term saltwater is often used to describe various other crocodiles as well, and this means that the crocodiles can survive excess periods of time in salt water. However, they still live in freshwater systems. Next we have the Nile crocodile, which is the second largest species of reptile and the largest species of reptiles in Africa. Like the name suggests, they are found along the Nile River and sub-Saharan Africa. They often use the iconic death roll to tear off meat from animals such as zebra and even buffalo. Next is the African dwarf crocodile, which is the smaller species of crocodile, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum to the 2 we just looked at, and they are found along West and Central Africa. These crocodiles are usually nocturnal, and considered to be one of the most terrestrial of all crocodiles. So to be terrestrial means that you spend time on land. Next is the freshwater crocodile, which look very similar to gharials, and their snout is designed to catch fish. They are endemic. Endemic means they are only found in, so they are endemic to Australia, and their population is decreasing because of the cane toad issue. And yeah, it's a problem for a lot of animals with the cane toads in Australia. Next is the Cuban crocodile, which is one of the most unique crocodiles in the world. They are the most terrestrial of any crocodile, having very long legs that are very strong. They also hunt in groups and display incredible intelligence. Unfortunately, they are critically endangered. Now we've looked at alligators and crocodiles, let's look at some caiman. First is the smooth-fronted caiman, which is very similar to the Cuvier's dwarf caiman. The only difference is that the plates on this caiman are bigger, and they are more triangular than the Cuvier's dwarf caiman. The dwarf caiman are more terrestrial than any other species of caiman. They get their name because they have no scutes on their head, unlike, the Cuvier's dwarf caiman often does have scutes on the head, actually. The spectacle caiman, and they get the name because of the scutes on its head, and it makes this look like they're wearing glasses. They are indigenous to South America, but they have also been introduced to the United States and Cuba. They also have that same fourth large tooth that crocodiles have, we looked at in the beginning. And this caiman uses many different vocalizations to communicate. Next is the black caiman, which is the largest of any caiman, rivaling and even surpassing alligators for size. And they are considered a keystone species. And a keystone species is an animal that is absolutely vital to the environment, to the point where if they were to be removed, the whole ecosystem might fail. So think about that. If you were to take caiman out of their environment, every animal and plant around them might go extinct. Although it's considered to be an apex predator, many animals like jaguars prey on them, and when they are babies, the whole of the Amazon is out to get them. Now we've looked at some of the creatures that are found in this genus. Let's look at some features that they all have. First is osteoderms, which are sort of like bumps on the skin. They are found in many species of reptiles, including dinosaurs, but they are a staple for crocodilians. And they get the name because they form on the dermis layer of the skin. That's why they have the derm part at the end of the name. At the bottom there you can see a picture, and those bumps on the skin are the osteoderms. That's the skin of a Gila monster, or a beaded lizard, which is also one of the more famous examples of osteoderms. Next we have the nictitating membrane, which is a transparent eyelid that can cover the eye while still allowing the animal to see. Crocodilians use this to block water from getting into their eyes while still being able to see while swimming. And in the picture you can see that the far left part of the eye hasn't been covered by this membrane, but the right part has, so it's a very good example of what it looks like. Next are dermal pressure receptors. Once again, dermal, that is the layer of skin we talked about before. And these sensory receptors are what allow crocodilians to sense the slightest vibrations in water. And it still works even in complete darkness. Alligators and caiman only have these sensors on their jaw, but crocodiles have it on every scale of their body. So in this picture, you can see that these small black dots on the jaw, those are the sensory receptors. Next we have the iconic eye shine at night. And this happens because of special crystals inside of the retina, which is a part of the eye, that allows them to see better in the darkness. This also has the side effect of the eye glow that we see at night. Next is basking, and all reptiles bask, because they are cold-blooded, so they can't regulate their own body temperature. Mammals can, that's why we don't need to bask. So crocodiles will often spread themselves out to make sure that they get the maximum exposure to the sun. Crocodiles keep their mouth open while basking, because they don't have the tongue. So the same way that a dog would pant when it's hot, crocodilians open their mouth. Next we have teeth, and it's widely known that crocodilians go through many teeth in their lifetime. They can go through more than 3,000 teeth, and each one of these teeth are hollow, so the next one can start growing before the old one is gone, ensuring that this reptile has the teeth that it needs to survive. And with those teeth, it brings us to the end of this PowerPoint presentation. So there was a little bit of advanced information, but I hope you still managed to learn something and enjoy the video. Also, if you look at the bottom, we have the reappearance of the Cuban false chameleon, who's somehow stuck into the alligator video. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!